You're watching Sports Beat.
And hi there, everybody. Welcome to Beat. Glad to have you aboard. We continue our college football preview. Jeremiah, tonight it's all about the Utes as they open up practice on Wednesday.
It's almost here. The 2018 Utah Utes have the potential to do something special. 15 starters return, including 9 on offense. They're picked to finish second in the Pac-12 South behind USC. And while the Trojans are loaded with talent as always, they're lacking in experience on offense. They're missing that guy right there that got sacked. In particular, the quarterback position, as I said. The Utes have the talent to challenge the defending champs and enter this season with confidence that they can finally claim that elusive South Division title.
That's the next step in the evolution of our program. We're not shy about that. We don't back away from it. We've had our opportunities in the past, at least a couple of years of making it to that point. Haven't got it done, but if we're going to take the next step as a program, that's what it's going to entail.
Every year I feel like I've been able to tell people, we could do it. Like we got a good squad. This is the year. You know what I mean? I feel like every year that's the case. This year, it's no different. But I think what stands out is just kind of the culture and the feel around the team. Everyone's really close, and I think we're all on the same page. We know not only what we have to do, but what we expect to do.
That title right there speaks for itself. That's the best in the Pac-12. Not a lot of people can say that they've held that trophy or even got a chance to come close to that trophy. So it really would be the best feeling. And bragging rights to all the alumni, that kind of, all the boys like Isaac Asiala and all the older guys, yeah.
How much of a battle is this division race going to be?
Oh, it's going to be special. And every game felt like the Super Bowl. I mean, every game was hard.
There's not a lot of questions to be asked about Utah this year. It's just, again, you got to bring up that idea of belief. If that team believes in itself, and there's no questions to be asked, who's to stop a team like that?
I think they've got the parts, definitely. I think they're a really talented team, and they've got a great coach leading them, and I think they've got all the pieces there.
And sometimes you just need to win the right game at the right time to put yourself in position, because they've been close every year.
Oh, there's so many good teams this year. It's great. I mean, that's what we want. That's Pac-12 football for you. It's teams that you never know what you're going to get on that Saturday, and teams always come up to play, and it's so much passion on each side of the ball, and I'm excited to see how teams shape out this year.
It's extremely hard because this is a hard conference. There's so many good teams, there's so many good players, but at the end of the day, that's what breeds greatness. If you don't have the competition, how are you going to be great?
Each week, you can't predict who's going to win. You never know who's going to have a breakout game, whether it's a backup quarterback who breaks the FBS record or someone knocking off a top 25 team. You never know who's going to win.
The Utes are contenders, but boy, this schedule, it's tough. The schedule makers didn't make it easy. While they won't face a Power 5 team in non-conference play, their 9-game conference schedule is brutal. You see there, they don't face Oregon State and Cal, which probably would have been wins. Instead, they get the top 3 teams in the North, Oregon, Stanford, on the road, and Washington. All 3 of those teams could be ranked this season. USC doesn't have to face Washington this season.
But if you're going to be the best, got to beat the best.
There you go.
All right, well, of course, head coach Kyle Whittingham, he's a defensive guy, and he always has one of the best Ds in conference, but not only in the Pac-12, but the entire country.
Yeah, 6 starters returned for a defense that allowed just 23 points per game last season, but they had just 25 sacks last year. Not good enough. Their lowest total since 2006. Well, expect a return of Sack Lake City this season.
You expect it to get back this year?
Yes, we do, and Bradley and I will be the focal point of that. He's going to be the guy giving the pressure off the edge, and we got to find who that second pass rusher is going to be on the outside. Is it Mika Tafua? Is it Caleb Rep? Is it Max Tapai? There's a lot of candidates, but I think Bradley and I has worked himself to a spot where he's poised to have a breakout year.
When I ask some of your players about guys, Lucky Fotu always comes up.
Yeah. Lucky Fotu. He's unstoppable for us, Like when big guys collide, it's just like a collide, but when it's just a collide and go, like it's colliding straight back to the QB, so it's nice. It's going to be nice seeing him.
Talented kid.
Yeah, what's his development been like?
It's been good. He's a guy that didn't have a lot of football experience, a lot of rugby experience. Like most big, strong, physical guys, got away with playing high at the high school level, has got to learn to keep his pads down. But as far as the raw material and the skill set that he possesses, it's it's incredible.
You had a corner duo as good as Julian and Jalen.
You're going to be hard pressed on that one to find a better combination in the Pac-12. Now they got to go out and prove it, but just what we saw in spring, and of course Jalen wasn't in spring. He was limited. He did some things, but really impressed with our corner position and the secondary in general.
Every year there's a breakout player you guys have, somebody maybe we don't know or familiar about that could. Who are some of those guys you think could really surprise me?
That's a great question. I mean, we've got a lot of candidates for that. Jalen Johnson, you could put in that category because he only played limited for us last year. Marquise Blair only played limited before he got injured. A couple of those receivers, like I mentioned, have got to step up and become one or two of those guys. So we'll see what happens, but we got a lot of candidates that could fill the bill.
We have some ballers on every area of field, pretty much every single position. D-line's always been good. Secondary is really good this year, and we got a backer core that's going to be really deep and really good as well. And I think really what we got to be able to do is just communicate, and we all got to be on the same page.
You just heard from Chase Hansen. Big things are expected from the senior. He started his career as a quarterback at Utah, moved to safety on defense, and this year he's moving again. He's going to play outside linebacker. He's healthy after missing 4 games last year to injury, and will look to have the type of season he had in 2016 when he earned all Pac-12 honors.
Chase Hansen switching positions. Why did you make that decision? What did you see that you think that's going to benefit you guys?
Well, first of all, he kind of outgrew the safety spot. I mean, he's 235 plus pounds right now, and not getting any smaller. Seems like he gets bigger every day. Secondly, his job description as a safety was that of a linebacker the majority of the time. He was down in the box defending the run with the backers, and so we just figured, hey, it makes more sense for us. Get your best 11 on the field, move him down to linebacker, and let him be closer to the point of attack.
It's honestly been really natural. It's been comfortable. I'm fine being in the box. Backer's been a little bit different, but not by much. It's been cool. I enjoy it.
Well, throughout the show, we want to relive some of the best moments that Utes have had since joining the conference back in 2011. We begin with a thrilling win over USC.
Troy takes the snap, play action pass, looking toward the end zone, firing outside. Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown, Tim Patrick! Utah leads it with 16 seconds to play. And Rice-Eccles Stadium erupts.
Yeah, just 2 years ago, Troy Williams leads a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter, connects with Tim Patrick with 16 seconds left to give the Utes another thrilling victory over the Trojans in 2016. Of course, the Utes did the same thing to the Trojans at home in 2014. So, you know what? It's an even year.
Slant. Utah wins. Travis Wilson to Kenneth Scott, and Utah wins in overtime.
And the Utes' only trip to Palo Alto since joining the Pac-12 went to double overtime in 2014. Travis Wilson connected with Kenneth Scott for the game-winning touchdown. This 1 year after beating 5th-ranked Stanford at home. The Utes return to Palo Alto on October 6th. All right, you're up to speed on the defense.
Okay,
Next,
that was fun. Looking back at those
are cool, aren't they?
Finishes.
We got a lot more coming up.
Yeah,
they have some thrilling wins. Next, we're going to focus on the other side of the ball, the offense.
You look at the first year and then what we did in spring ball and how much more comfort there was with the players in embracing the scheme and the system. If we can take another step this fall in that regard, I think we have a chance to be pretty competitive.
Continuity is the key on offense for the Utes. Key starters return bigger and better. And guess who's back?
Water Skeeter.
There he is, Britain Covey. It's up next.
Always an incredibly physical team.
And what do players and coaches in the Pac-12 think of Utah this season? You don't want to miss their take on the Utes.
Thompson, and he's going to go long. He's got a man out there. It's up, it's caught, it's a touchdown!
More great moments from the Utes in the Pac-12 play. Utah defense sacking Brett Hundley 10 times. And Andy Phillips making a 29-yard field goal, 34 seconds left, giving Utah 30-28 upset over then number 8-ranked UCLA.
Down the field, he's got Covey open, touchdown! Touchdown! Britain Covey!
At Oregon in 2015, perhaps the most stunning and impressive performance for the Utes since joining the Pac-12. They blasted Oregon 62-20 in Eugene. Of course, Britain Covey was on that 2015 team, as we saw, and played a key role in that victory. He returns to an offense that also returns 8 starters.
Or Water Skeeter, as I like to call him from his days at Tim View, including Tyler Huntley and Zach Moss. The Florida duo flashed their potential last year and should be even better in year 2 of Troy Taylor's offense.
You have continuity with the offensive coordinator, the second year in Troy Taylor's offense. Do you expect to see more progress and more comfort with these guys having been?
Definitely. If you look at our first year, decent results. You look at the first year and then what we did in spring ball and how much more comfort there was with the players in embracing the scheme and the system. If we can take another step this fall in that regard, I think we have a chance to be pretty competitive.
I expect them to be explosive. They got another year with Coach Taylor, another year together, a lot of weapons around Tyler. Good O-line with Lowe and guys like that.
Huntley to pass again, lots of time, over the middle, end zone, caught, touchdown.
Tyler Huntley, is he ready to take the next step? What do you see?
Has to be. He had a very good sophomore campaign. We missed him for those 4 games. Huge lesson he needs to learn, and hopefully he has learned in the offseason. There's a time to try to get that extra 6 inches or whatever, and there's a time to step out of bounds and avoid a hit. And he needs to do a better job with his decision making. He's a fierce competitor. It's tough to get a kid like that to back away from anything, but he's got to be able to make better decisions in that regard.
The amazing things he did last season. I mean, maybe not until like everyone eyes he was like, you know, the best QB out there, but it was definitely an experience season for him. And now he got that experience and the same confidence. He's going to tear it up this year.
In 1 year under your belt, it's eye-opening. I know how my freshman year was, and building from that.
Does ball distribution come up in that conversation?
A little bit, but it's more, you know, we don't mind him carrying the ball, but be smart about it. You know, don't take those collisions with linebackers and defensive linemen. You know, just be smart about what you're doing.
Let Zach Moss do the colliding.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Moss has it, 45, makes a man. Oh, he just blitzed and blew up a linebacker. He trucked not 1 but 2 Buffalo defenders.
I think it was the USC game where everything started to click for Zach. He became a physical, violent runner, ended up rushing for nearly 1,200 yards. We need him to pick up where he left off last season.
Zach Moss is another beast. That's another guy that's just going to tear it up, man. He's just like a little ball of muscle that is just run through anything, seriously.
When you're watching film, is it fun to watch him run over dudes?
It's funny to watch him like run over dudes because he does it so easily, you know? I mean, like weighing 250 pounds, but I'm just kidding. Nah, you don't weigh that much, bro. You always give him crap about it, though.
A tough sturdy back. He's going to be a lot better. Vision's probably going to be better. He's going to learn how to see things that he didn't see as a freshman.
Continuity on the offensive line. You got it this year.
Yeah, we do. Complete 180 from last year where we had only 1 of the 5 starters back. We have 4 of the 5 starters back this year. Lowe is the focal point of that group. He's the center. Everything starts with him. Typically, as your O-line goes, so goes your offense.
We mentioned him earlier, but now the wait is over. Britain Covey has returned from serving an LDS mission. What he did as a true freshman in 2015 was remarkable. He led the team in receptions and receiving yards, tied for the team lead in touchdown receptions, and was an electric punt returner. Can he match or exceed that production after 2 years off?
No drop-off. I think he's going to come back and be as impactful as he was before the mission. He's in training right now. He looks great, hasn't lost a step, still lightning quick. He's added some pounds onto his frame of muscle, and so looking for him to be a big contributor.
Covey's Covey. You know, he's already looking good, and I think as long as he can get his legs under him and stay healthy and feel good, then people will see him making plays right away.
It's nice to have his presence because he's always like, you know, a fun dude, you know. He's always like dancing or something and just like walking down the hallway doing this. They're like, hey, what's up? And just like keep walking or something. But he's always just like in a good mood, man. He always brings positive vibes around people. So it's good to have him back.
John White gets the call, bounces to the outside. John White, they won't catch him. One man has a chance, and John White's going to score a touchdown.
Wow. I was there for that game, freezing cold. 2011, the Utes knock off Washington State in a snowstorm, a 30-27 win in overtime. John White tiptoeing down the sideline in the snow. The 56-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter was the memorable image from that game. Nice win on the road for the Utes back then.
Norris jars it loose. A convoy the other way for Gianni Paul, who's got a Utah touchdown.
Well, the Utes score 17 points off of 4 Washington turnovers and win it 34-23 in Seattle. It's Utah's only win over Washington since joining the Pac-12. And now Washington gets to come to Rice-Eccles.
And that would be a huge win.
Remember what happened 2 years ago? The Utes had a chance to win the South.
It was there.
The last minute and a half.
Didn't happen for
Somehow, somebody didn't get called for holding. I was right there. I was right there.
Yep.
On a clip, too. I was right there.
On the punt return.
Yeah. All right, coming up next, Jeremiah.
Yeah,
respect.
It's always been a close game, a very competitive game.
Yeah, respect the Utes have it. The top player and coaches in the Pac-12 share their thoughts on the Utes. Plus, we have something special planned for you. A highlight video to get you hyped up for the season.
Holding and a clip.
I still haven't forgotten.
Dimmick putting his stamp all over this football game.
Everyone gets a sack.
You get a sack.
You get a sack.
Is that Hunter Dimmick?
It is.
He's now your career sack leader at the University of Utah.
Yeah, Hunter Dimmick had 5 of Utah's 11 sacks and a 49-26 win in Tempe.
To Armand. Armand to the 20, to the 15, 10, 5. It's a touchdown. Shine on, Armand. 26 yards away.
After trailing 14-12 at the half and 8 false starts in the first half, the Utes rallied, outscored the Wildcats 24-9 in the second to get the win. And it was still holding and clipping a couple of times on that punt return against Washington.
Still haven't let it go.
All right, wins like the last 2 that we just showed you helped Utah football program earn respect around the Pac-12.
Yeah, the perception of the program is much different than it was when they entered the conference in 2011. Just ask the players and coaches.
You like playing them right out of the gate, first Pac-12 game?
Oh, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun, yeah.
They're always an incredibly physical team. You know, you're always, after you play Utah, you're always bandaging and piecing yourself back together because they're incredibly physical.
The first few quarters are not the hard part. It's just when you get down to the end of the third, fourth quarter. How many more hits can you take? How many more hits can you deliver? And that's a team that will test your will and make sure that you really have to earn that game.
It's always been a close game, a very competitive game. The last 2 years have come down, it seems like, to the last play of the game.
It's been a battle all 3 years, and expect nothing less this year. So we'll be prepared for that game, and we know what they bring and what we need to bring.
I love playing in Utah. That was my first time playing there, but I loved it. The fans are rowdy, they're loud, they were ready to fight. So the environment makes the game.
Had some good battles with Utah.
Some great battles with Utah. It was a high-charged game. The atmosphere was rocking. That stadium was going. Everybody's wearing red. It was just a fun time.
You didn't get to play in that Utah game last year. I think that was the last game. Probably wish you had a chance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Things might have been different.
What do you think?
One thing I can always tell that's different about Utah is your guys' size. Utah has some big cats.
They're very tough. They're a tough football team mentally, and I like tough football teams, and they take on the personality of their coach, by the way. And I like that in him. And I think they understand their strengths in the areas they need to recruit and the players they can get, and they do the best with the players they have.
I don't know if I have any more respect of a man in our profession than Kyle Whittingham and what he's done. And when you go to Rice-Eccles Stadium and that fan base and that environment and that electricity, you better buckle your chin strap because it's a special place, and the fans love their football there.
The last 2 years, we've had something on the line, both of us. Both of us in 2016, whoever won it would win the Pac-12 South. Last year when we played, whoever won was going to a bowl game. Fortunately, we won in 16. Last year they beat us. So there'll be something on the line. We'll play a game earlier this year, so there might even be more on the line.
I feel like when they put it all together, they're going to be a good team, hard to beat.
Hopefully we're lucky enough to beat Utah, but I hope they pound on virtually everybody else.
Love him.
Leach likes the Utes.
We're going to pump you up when we come back. Expectations for the Utes this season, sky high.
Yeah, the Utes are stacked on both sides of the ball. Here is the proof right here. A little video to get you excited for the season.
Pump up.
Good evening, and welcome to the start of the college football season from beautiful Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City, Utah. Here is Moss, and he is here. Looking up the far sideline. Intercepted. Electrifying play, Lou Reels. With his speed, Covey. Plus the part of the sideline. Britain Covey, here he goes. Dawkins throwing over the middle. Intercepted. Javelin Gidry Touchdown! The freshman, Guidry.
Straight ahead to Zach Moss. Great running, second level. Zach's to the 30s.
And Covey, watch out, he can run. Covey sprinting. Covey, touchdown Utah, 66 yards.
50, open, 40, 35, 30, 25, back inside 20. The outside, traffic.
Delayed handoff, Moss, 15, 10, 5 to the outside, goal line, touchdown!
The near sideline, a terrific grab by Samson Nakua.
Give it to Love again, and he's stacked up and taken down by Lecky Fotu. Action pass. They're going to go and get Monster in the backfield. Blitz off the edge by Chase Hansen.
Stanford jumping. Zach Moss breaks the tackle, gets to the edge, inside the 5, looking toward the end zone. Browning, get him a run, and he'll be short.
Wow! Throws outside. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Julian Blackman.
Huntley turns and keeps it straight ahead, inside the 5, and into the end zone. Touchdown!
All right, Utes open up Wednesday, practice, getting ready for the season.
Okay, predictions?
Yeah.
I think the Utes go 9-3 this year. Losses to Washington, Stanford, and Oregon.
I've got the Utes going 10-2.
Woo.
Okay, see ya.